Hello guys, welcome to my new video. Today we explaining about the audit clerk interview questions and sample answers. Don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell icon so you won't miss any informative video in this channel. Now, let's get started. Audit clerk interview questions and sample answers. Learn what skills and qualities interviewers are looking for from an audit clerk, what questions you can expect, and how you should go about answering them. An audit clerk is responsible for supporting the accounting team by maintaining financial records and ensuring compliance with internal controls. Audit clerks also prepare reports and reconcile accounts. If you're applying for an audit clerk position, you can expect to be asked interview questions about your experience with bookkeeping, your knowledge of accounting principles, and your attention to detail. You may also be asked behavioral interview questions about how you handle deadlines, work under pressure, and handle confidential information. To help you prepare for your interview, we've compiled a list of sample audit clerk interview questions and answers. Are you familiar with the types of audits that are commonly performed in your field? This question is a great way for employers to assess your knowledge of the industry and how you can contribute to their company. When answering this question, it's important to mention any types of audits that you've performed in the past or are familiar with. Example. In my previous role as an audit clerk, I was responsible for performing financial audits on both small businesses and large corporations. These audits included everything from reviewing expense reports to examining tax returns. I also worked on operational audits where I examined inventory levels and sales transactions. What are some of the most important skills that an audit clerk can have? This question can help the interviewer determine if you have the skills necessary to succeed in this role. When answering, it can be helpful to mention a few of the most important skills and how you use them on a daily basis. Example. The two most important skills for an audit clerk are attention to detail and communication. Attention to detail is crucial because I am responsible for ensuring that all financial records are accurate. Communication is also very important because I work with many different people throughout my day. I make sure to communicate any questions or concerns I may have so that I can get answers as quickly as possible. How would you describe the relationship between an auditor and an audit clerk? This question can help interviewers understand your perspective on the role of an audit clerk and how you would interact with auditors. When answering this question, it can be helpful to describe what you think is most important about the relationship between these two roles. Example, I believe that the auditor should be in charge of the audit process, but I also think that the audit clerk has a lot of responsibility for ensuring the quality of the work they do. For example, if an auditor asks me to perform a task, I will make sure to follow their instructions exactly as they ask. However, if I notice something during my work that seems like it could affect the accuracy of the audit, I would let them know right away so we can discuss whether or not we need to change our approach. What is your experience working with financial data? This question can help the interviewer determine your experience level with financial data and how you use it. If you have no prior experience, you can talk about what you would do if you were given a spreadsheet of financial data to work with. Example. I've worked in accounting for 5 years now, so I'm very familiar with working with financial data. In my current role, I regularly enter data into spreadsheets and databases, which I find quite easy because I am used to doing it. However, when I first started working in accounting, I found entering data into spreadsheets challenging. I had to learn how to navigate through rows and columns to get the right information. If you made a mistake while auditing financial records, how would you correct it? This question can help interviewers determine how you respond to challenges and errors. Your answer should show that you are willing to take responsibility for your actions, learn from mistakes and correct them quickly. Example. If I made a mistake while auditing financial records, would first try to find out what caused the error. If it was my fault, I would immediately inform my supervisor of the mistake and ask if they wanted me to fix it or if they would prefer to do it themselves. If it wasn't my fault, I would let my supervisor know so they could address the issue with the responsible party. In either case, I would make sure to document the incident in order to prevent similar mistakes in the future. What would you do if you were assigned a task and you were unsure how to proceed? This question can help interviewers determine how you would handle a challenge at work. Your answer should show that you are willing to ask for help and learn from your colleagues. Example: if I was unsure about how to proceed with a task, I would first try to find the information myself. If I couldn't find it after searching through my notes or computer files, I would ask my supervisor if they knew how to complete the task. If they didn't know either, I would ask another colleague who might have more experience in that area. How well do you perform under pressure? Audit clerks often work under tight deadlines and sometimes have to make important decisions quickly. Employers ask this question to see if you can handle pressure well. In your answer, share a time when you had to perform under pressure. Explain how you handled the situation successfully. Example: I am used to working under pressure because I worked as an auditor for 5 years. During my first year of auditing, I was responsible for completing all financial reports by the end of each month. This meant that I had to complete many audits in one day. At times, it felt like there wasn't enough time in the day to finish everything. However, I learned to prioritize my tasks and focus on the most important ones first. By doing this, I could get through everything before the deadline. Do you have experience working with auditing software? The interviewer may ask this question to learn about your experience with specific software programs. If you have worked with auditing software in the past, share what type of software it was and how often you used it. If you haven't worked with auditing software before, you can still answer honestly by describing any other accounting software you've used. Example: I have never worked specifically with auditing software, but I do have experience using general accounting software like QuickBooks. In my last role as an audit clerk, I helped prepare financial reports for managers who needed them. They would give me their data, which I entered into the system. Then, I could use the program's reporting tools to generate a variety of different types of reports. When performing an audit, what is the process for verifying the accuracy of financial records? This question is an opportunity to show your knowledge of the audit process and how you apply it in your work. When answering this question, describe a step-by-step process for verifying financial records during an audit. Example: when performing an audit, I first verify that all documents are signed by authorized personnel. Next, I compare the information on each document with the supporting documentation. If there's a discrepancy between the two, I note it and ask management about it. Finally, I make sure that all transactions have been recorded correctly. What makes you stand out from other candidates applying for this job? Employers ask this question to learn more about your qualifications and how you can contribute to their company. Before your interview, make a list of 3 things that make you unique from other candidates. These could be skills or experiences that relate to the job description. Share these with your interviewer so they know what makes you an ideal candidate for the position. Example: I have 5 years of experience as an audit clerk, which is 1 year longer than most people applying for this role. I also have excellent attention to detail, which helps me ensure all my work meets the company's standards. Finally, I am highly motivated by deadlines and always meet them on time. Which accounting software programs have you used in the past? The interviewer may ask this question to learn about your experience with accounting software. If you have not worked in an accounting role before, you can mention the software programs you use at home or discuss the ones you are familiar with. Example: I've used QuickBooks and FreshBooks in my past roles as a bookkeeper. I also use Excel for budgeting purposes and Google Sheets for tracking expenses. What do you think is the most important trait for an audit clerk to have? This question is an opportunity to show the interviewer that you have the skills and abilities needed for this role. You can answer by listing a few important traits, such as attention to detail, communication skills, and problem-solving skills. Example: I think the most important trait for an audit clerk is attention to detail because it's essential to ensure all of the information in the documents we're auditing is accurate. Another important trait is strong communication skills because I would be working with my team members and other professionals on audits, so I need to be able to clearly explain what I'm doing and ask questions when necessary. Finally, I think problem-solving skills are important because they help me find solutions to any issues that arise during an audit. How often do you perform audits at your current job? This question can help the interviewer understand how much experience you have with audits. If your current job doesn't perform audits, explain what type of work you do that's similar to an audit and how often you complete it. Example: at my current job, I perform a monthly financial audit for our company. We use this information